It's right there, bro. That's not my responsibility. That's your responsibility, bro. What, I look like your mommy?
Owen doesn't get a mic today.
I know that's your mommy.
Anyway, announcements for today.
Good morning.
September support. Our goal is 75.
Yeah, 70,
Correct.
70.
$70. We have 15 right now. Giving boxes are near check-in.
And we have no next slide. I won't 2 slides from now. I won't ruin it, but we won't be here in this building next week.
What?
Foreshadowing.
Wednesday, OC crew. We are watching The Chosen. It starts this Wednesday.
What time is it?
It is at 6:30 to 8 p.m.
We're in the 4th season of The Chosen. We're in season 4 of Es Chosen.
Church picnic, Sunday, September 15th. 10:15 a.m. service out at the church park on Welty Road.
That's why we're not here.
And there will be food after.
So baptisms, food. I don't know if you've had the barbecue, but it is amazing.
It is really good.
Make sure you guys bring chairs if you're going. Bring chairs.
Lawn chairs or blankets or towels.
Hold on. Go back to it real quick. Andrew, just jumping the gun. With that, bring your chairs. If it rains next week, which I hope it doesn't, they will still have the picnic. It'll just be in the gym, so you go and you eat kind of like cafeteria style. Because we got.
Didn't we do that the 1 year?
Yeah, we did it like 2 years. Last year, I think.
Yeah.
So you have to go out there. You get the good food, but then we do the baptisms the next week. So we will have, the plan is out at the park either this September 15th or the 22nd, but the church picnic will go off regardless. Make sense? Yes? No?
Yes.
Maybe so?
Gotcha.
Okay. Ta-da. Now, Andrew.
The game. Coffee talk. True or false? Brady's always true. I'm always false.
Who won last week? There was somebody here that won last week.
Who won last week?
Anybody remember?
Wasn't here. Oh.
Oh, didn't come. Oh, man, see, who won last week? Haley won last week? What a jerk. Haley, I will give this to Haley's small group. This was the thing that I promised, the pumpkin spice stuff. So
Pumpkin spice
Haley's small group leader can take that. Haley, if you're watching online, sorry, you didn't show up. They're going to eat your food for you.
All right.
Anyway, stand up if you would like to play. True is my side.
True.
False
is
Owen's
over
side.
here.
Make sure you go to that side of the room and not standing just in the middle.
Yep.
Oh,
None in the middle.
You can give them. There's pumpkin something Kit Kats and Yappy bracelets up there.
Oh, there is Yappy bracelets though?
There's still Yappy bracelets, but I got some. What kind is it? Is like pumpkin pie Kit Kats?
What is it?
It's ghost toast.
Ghost coat. Okay, so yeah.
What is it?
It's basically cinnamon toast crunch.
That's.
All right,
I
there you
mean,
go.
it doesn't sound the best. So you're getting a Kit Kat and a Yappy bracelet.
Coffee beans are fruit pits and not beans.
They're
True
already decided.
or false?
True is
They are fruit
Brady's
pits
side.
and not beans.
False is Owen's side.
Owen, what do you think it is?
Huh?
What do you think it is?
I think I'm gonna go true. I think I'm gonna go true on this one.
I have true as well. 3.
Wait, is
Two.
anybody switching sides? You guys are saying false.
So this is false over here. True's
I don't
over
want
here.
anybody to be mad at me when it's. Oh, I changed my.
Oh, he changed.
3, 2,
You're now on false.
1.
It is
It is
true.
Stay
True over here. If you're over here, please sit down. Thank you.
Comes
They
from a
say
red fruit.
coffee beans, but they are really fruit pits. They are seeds.
I'm watching you.
Coffee cherries.
So what? Coffee beans?
True or false? The world's most expensive coffee comes from cat poop. True?
That's disgusting.
False.
If it is true,
I have false.
I am going false.
Because I don't want
on
to
this
believe
one.
that's true.
Because like. He's like.
They're like, Dwight's so ridiculous. Why would he make this up?
His logic is at the right place, but I don't think it's
What
going to be
side are you
correct.
guys on? This is the middle.
Yeah, the
It
middle.
is.
They have false back there. 3,
I'm just kidding.
2.
I'm giving Georgia a hard time back.
One, uno. It is false. So
But
if
hold
you
on,
were
hold on. Read it though. The Asian palm civet, it is an animal, eats coffee cherries that ferment in its belly and are collected after its poop. That is truly the most expensive. It's called Kapilua coffee, and it looks like a cat, but it's more of a fox. And they
That's
collect it, roast it, and charge like $150 a cup.
that's disgusting.
And people pay it in Indonesia.
That's
Coffee
Dumb.
was originally chewed.
Kapilua coffee, and it is cat poop coffee, and
Instead of
people
being
drink
drinking, it was chewed.
Could you imagine, like, just sitting at a bar? What do you want today, sir?
Cat
I
poop.
want some good old coffee.
Awesome cat poop coffee. No, you don't eat the beans. They actually roast the coffee, like that, and then they.
But
like,
it's
make
chewed. So, like,
Yeah,
what do
they
you...
swallow. They chew the berries and swallow the seeds whole.
I have true.
They collect
Huh?
it up and
Uh,
Google it, baby.
what?
Don't you?
Coffee was originally chewed. This
3,
makes no
2,
sense.
Chewed. Yeah. They used to,
1.
haven't you ever had chocolate-covered coffee beans?
True.
Yes.
There you
But, like,
go, it's
what?
true. It was originally just chewed. You didn't make it.
Grounded up
What?
with
Oh my
fat
gosh.
to create energy-rich snack balls.
I'm so confused.
True or false? In the USA, coffee is primarily grown in Hawaii and California.
I'm going.
Or false? But if
I-
it is, it's where's it primarily?
I'm going true on this one.
I like how he says
I
I'm
have
going
true, too.
true, but pointed to false.
Oh.
I have true as well.
I'm going true.
Now, it's literally in the U.S. Coffee is primarily grown in Hawaii and California.
3, 2, 1.
Oh no. It
True.
is true. I was right.
Because of the tropical climate.
Correct.
Good soil for them.
I want to go to Hawaii.
I repeated the question like 4
I've never been to Hawaii, but I want to go just so I can like wear like the little like skirt thing and go like this and like dance and like do all that fun
I
stuff.
feel like we need to get him one of those now. Just
Yes, I would be. That would be so much fun just to like do this and just like.
Brazil
Oh yeah, absolutely.
is the country that drinks the most coffee in the world. True.
Or the
Or false.
What do you think,
the
Georgia?
shells.
True?
The
Says
shells.
false. Georgia says
Yeah.
false.
The country that drinks the most coffee in the world. Okay, I feel like that's the U.S. Like,
Carter says he's got it true. All right. He says
it's got to be
whatever,
the
I'm not
U.S.,
weak.
doesn't it? Like,
Yeah.
3, 2, 1.
It is false.
it's Finland.
Finland.
So there is 3 people left.
They
As
drink
you were
the
in the
most coffee
back.
per capita. Well, there you go. She's like, but I was right. So
Here we go. Coffee house in England used to
There
be
you go.
known
There you
as
go.
Penny
She should drink more coffee.
Universite.
Universities.
You know,
I go to Greencastle.
yep. That's my education.
Do you? Oh, and do you have ELA class at?
Coffee
What?
houses in England used to be known as penny
No, I don't.
universities.
I haven't.
So hold on.
I have.
what do I got?
So like I have ELA class, but I have it second semester,
Wait,
and so I
Okay,
take
that makes sense.
I
You're
take
going for the
English,
win.
and then right
You
after
guys
that
got
I take Spanish. So I'm learning two
3,
things.
It's not good.
I know.
1 is
True.
So we're down to 2. We got Georgia and Dave left.
Oh.
True or false? Sweden has banned coffee 5 different times.
Sweden.
Sweden.
Don't try. It'll hurt your brain.
No. I'm thinking of the wrong thing. I'm going.
You guys good?
I'm going true.
True? All right.
3, 2, 1.
I'm going true on this one.
It's true.
I
Man,
was
she knows her
right.
coffee. She's like, I own a Starbucks.
People misused it and it was addictive.
Shocking.
All right.
True or false? The average American spends more than $1,000 on coffee each year.
False. I
Each
Really,
year?
at Starbucks, that's only like 10 cups
wait,
of coffee.
what?
That's definitely true.
I'm going false. I think it's like a lot more than that. I think
No,
it's.
more. It says more
Wait,
than.
what? The average
More
is
than.
more
It's
than
more than-
$1,000 of coffee.
Oh yeah. True. I'm going true.
3,
All right, Dave's going to switch it up. He's going to say false.
Oh
2.
no. They got split up. There's gonna be a
1.
winner. It is true.
Georgia, if you want the other
Cooked.
different color Yappy bracelets, just go to the table. There's different colors up there. If you don't know what the Yappy bracelets are, you use your phone, you tap it with the chip, and it gives you a Bible verse of the
You
day.
got your Yappy bracelet.
And it's real cute. Oh my god.
It's a Kit Kat.
There's like pink ones and teal ones. You go
True.
up.
You can
can go
keep the
pick
color, or you can change
True.
the
Let's
color.
race through the rest of these.
Or false.
Decaffeinated coffee still contains caffeine.
False.
True.
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 True or false? It takes an hour to fully eliminate the caffeine
praise
from
man, you
coffee
guys.
from your
I'm going true on this one.
False. Tiebreaker.
What?
It's false.
True or false? Coffee beans are green when they are first harvested.
Yes,
No, the
that is true. I think that is true.
True.
Yep. I don't know where I saw that. I just knew that it was that.
That was the game for today.
That's the game.
Woo, woo. I like how they clap. Yes, that was an amazing game. Great job. I don't know. It's always like, why are we clapping? I don't know. Just randomly clap occasionally. At the end of every praise and worship song, you guys should just let out. Just some, woo!
Am
Let's
I?
do it.
There we go.
Let's go.
Whew. How's everybody doing this morning?
They say tired, but they were pretty hyped for that game. As soon as I said coffee, everybody's like, yeah, we're gonna
Tired.
get coffee.
What do you got to be tired for?
Tell you what, we'll do another coffee game next week. And I'll
'Cause-
bring like a Starbucks shot or something like that.
I'm surprised none of these kids had their coffee. They got to go to Starbucks. Got to go to Starbucks.
I was gonna say, $1,000 is the average. That's it.
Get their coffee that isn't actually coffee. Well, let's say I did sing this morning.
That means stand up.
You give life, you are love, you bring light to the darkness, you give hope, you restore every heart that is broken. And great are you, Lord. It's your breath in our lungs, so we pour out our praise. We pour out our praise. It's your breath in our lungs, so we pour out our praise to you only. You give life, you are love, you bring light to the darkness, you give hope, you restore every heart that is broken. And great are you, Lord. It's your breath in our will shout your praise. Our hearts will cry, these bones will sing. Great are you, Lord. And all the earth will shout your praise. Our hearts will cry, these bones will sing. Great are you, Lord. And all the earth will shout your praise. Our hearts will cry, these bones will sing. Great are you, Lord. It's your breath in our lungs, so we pour out our praise. We pour out our praise. It's your breath in our lungs, so we pour out our praise to you only. It's your breath in our lungs, so we pour out our praise. We pour out our praise. It's your breath in our lungs, so we pour out our praise to you only. Christ is my firm foundation, the rock on which I stand when everything around me is shaken. I've never been more glad that I put my faith in Jesus, 'cause he's never let me down. He's faithful through generations. So why would he fail now? He won't. He won't. I still got joy in chaos. I've got peace that makes no sense. So I won't be which I stand when everything around me is shaken. I've never been more glad that I put my faith in Jesus, 'cause he's never let me down. He's faithful through generations. So why would he fail now? He won't. He won't. He won't fail. He won't Rain came, wind blew, my house was built on you, and I'm safe with you. I'm gonna make it through. Rain came and wind blew, but my house was built on you, and I'm safe with you. I'm gonna make it through. Rain came, wind blew, you, Lord. You are the firm foundation that we can build our trust on. There's nothing greater than you, Lord. Let us be reminded of that constantly throughout our lives, throughout the days, weeks, and months ahead. Lord, I just pray that we take what we learned from you through Dwight this morning, and that we would apply it to our lives each and every day, and that we would spread it to those around us. We ask all this in your precious and holy name. Amen.
Amen. All right, thank you. At least one middle school boy, I remember, he's like, ah. Where were you, Owen? You promised me you were going to do that. Owen. Teenage boy, scatterbrain, just gone. It's just, I judge you. Anyway, hey, when I go, where's my cell phone in like 30 minutes, just remind me I put it right here. I hate it having it in my pocket when I speak. So, just, yeah, I know. I'm going to eventually be like, I know I had my cell phone. Anybody else, that person? Okay. All right. So, I have a watch that you beep, but I left it at home. Anyway, so we started a sermon series a couple weeks ago. We're going to skip through this pretty quick, called Sticks and Stones. And one of the things we talked about is your words matter. And hopefully you guys are actually being more cautious of your words and the things that you're saying over the last couple weeks. Some of you might have taken that to heart. Some of you guys might have been like, nope, got worse. And I understand that because my words were always a struggle for me. It still is. I let things fly occasionally that should not be let fly. And it's part of my brokenness as a human being as well. But it's important for us to control our words. And then we started into, because it tied so well together, we went into the book of Titus. It's 3 chapters. I don't think any of the verses are longer, or the verses in the chapter are longer than like 18. So it's super easy read. It's one of the few books that was written to a man who God wanted to use. So it was literally, so Paul said, hey, listen, I got a couple of guys. I need Timothy. I need to write him a letter. Titus, I need to write a letter. There was this island, we started last week, called Crete. The island of Crete was filled with Cretans. If you remember, that meant that in their own words, they said, we like to swindle, we like to curse, we like to sleep around, we like to drink, we like to do all those things, but we love Jesus and this new Christian faith. And Paul was like, that's not how that's supposed to work. Like, if you want people to take you seriously in the faith, we need to clean this up. And Crete was such an important place because the entire region around it, this was a trading place, there were cities. And so Paul says, listen, I need somebody to go to Crete, and Titus, you're the man, and you need to start building leadership. You need to start building leadership. But to do that, we need to tell you what it is. The foundation is Jesus, and then this is what you should look like. And so as you go through your teenage years, which you will, teenage years, you're going to ask questions, and you can ask the seniors if they've asked these questions because they're there. Where do I fit in? How do I gain popularity? How do I make the team? How do I ask this girl out? There's all kinds of crazy questions you're going to ask over the next 7 years of your middle school and high school career. And Paul's basically says to you, hey, this is what it should look like for a man or a woman of God to look like from the outside. I should be able to look at your life, spend a little time with you, and go, not living the way you're supposed to. Sorry, I just pointed at you. Sorry. Him, you're bad. No, I'm just kidding. Or, hey, you're doing a really great job, wonderful work. And everybody should see it. It shouldn't be like, well, Dwight saw this portion of me and I was really good. My teachers occasionally see that. My friends see this like little dastardly devil when we're hanging out together and we do bad things. And then there's your private stuff that nobody sees. Paul says you need to teach them how to live the same when they're alone, when they're with their friends, and when they're out, and they should grow up a certain way. And so Titus 1 really talks about words are a reflection of my heart. What about my actions? Titus was the answer, and I'm glad we sang firm foundation because he literally did. This is how we're going to build the church. This is how the next generation is going to take over. A lot of you guys seniors, senior high students, you're starting to ask the questions, well, where do I go from here? How do I make an impact? How do I make a difference? Well, it's easy. Titus lays it out. Paul's letter to Titus lays out what you should look like as a Christian man and woman of God. This is how you should live your life. And if you do so, you will have a massive impact on the world around you. And so last week we talked about the firm foundation was built. Words mattered. You need to make sure that your words mattered and how you act. So Titus, go and do this. And so we get into Titus 2, and this is literally how you should look as a person. If you call yourselves a Christian and a follower of Jesus, don't be like the Cretans, be like this. And here's the great part. We have different stages. I don't want you to read ahead, you cheaters. We have a great model in Jesus in the idea that eventually you're going to be old like me. I know, you're like, no. And that's okay, you'll get there. I get it. Like, you're like, I'm never going to get old. I have a skincare routine. That's not how that works. So eventually you get old. There's us older folk here, your small group leaders, we are older than you. We are expected to be like something, to teach you how to be like something so that we die, go to the grave, and you become the ones that teach the next generation. And so we must, if we read this section, we understand that we have roles. I'm required to do something so that you can do what you're supposed to do. And what that is here in Titus chapter 2. As for you, Titus, promote the kind of living that reflects wholesome teaching. Small group leaders. We've got to be people who teach wholesome teaching. We can't teach the ways of the world. We got to open our Bibles and say, if we're going to teach it, we got to believe it. Wholesome teaching. So leaders, this is you. Teach the older men. Teach us older men. And for some of you guys, our senior high guys and our older guys that are moving into leadership, you're starting to fall into this. Teach the older men to exercise self-control. Where are my dudes that's got some anger issues? Do we got any guys that like to yell and get mad pretty often? I like how everybody's pointing at each other, but not themselves. Okay, so we got some girls that like that, but we're talking guys for a second. Girls, be patient. I know some of you guys are little hotheads. That's okay. We get to you in a second, girlfriend. We talk about you. And you need to be self-controlled. So you guys, my hothead boys, need to work on that so that as you get older, because here's the crazy thing. So I love Theo. Theo's my little 4-year-old boy. Over the last couple of weeks, we've told him, hey, Theo, I need you to go do this. And I know he's 4. You're like, he's 4. Still should have expectations of even, hey, literally, go get your jammies and get in the shower. That's it. That's the instructions. And that was too hard for him because 20 minutes later, I come up to his room and he's got trucks out, naked as all, like he got to a point where he was going to get in the shower, found something that he wanted to play with, and then just, where are my scatterbrain guys? We'll catch you an hour later. Like, I'm one of those guys that like fixes things, and then I'm like, wait, I got to fix this thing to fix this thing. Oh man, that's not clean. Let me organize that real quick. And then an hour later, I'm doing something. I'm like, wait, I was just changing a light bulb. What am I doing? And so you got to be older. Men, you have to practice self-control. Get that anger under control, because I wanted to smack his little bottom because he didn't listen to me. But then I go, he's 4. I need to slow down. I need to teach him. I need to redirect him. But at the same time, discipline. How do I do that lovingly? So older men, we need to, as we get older, we need to control that anger. We need to control that, because then we're going to have other people. If you're a boss that loses your cool all the time, nobody's going to want to work for you. So we need to control that. So older men, you need to exercise self-control and be worthy of respect and to live wisely. We need to make good choices. We need to figure out how money works. We need to figure out how responsibility works so that people can trust us. So live wisely. They must have a solid faith and be filled with love and patience. Here's the crazy thing. As you get older, you'll learn this. God doesn't give you patience. He gives you children. No, opportunities to be patient so you get to practice them. And so for us guys, it's wives. No, I'm just kidding. Wives, it's actually us husbands. I just settled out. Yeah. So they must have sound faith and be filled with love and patience. Similarly, older ladies, wherever that line crosses, I don't want to ask you your birthday. Similarly, teach the older women to live in ways that honor God. Women, this is what you are to strive for. And some of you guys will be like, wait, I don't agree with all this. This is like 2020. Like, hear me out on it, all right? So, similarly, teach older women to live ways that honor God. They must not slander others. So if you got some of them gossip problems, time to reel it in, ladies. Because that hurts people. You need to be able to have your opinions, but gossips, you should slander others or be heavy drinkers. Instead, they should teach others what is good. You got small group leaders that love you, and they probably share some of their testimony, their story. The reason why is they're like, please don't touch the hot stove. And I use that example for 6th graders. Like, if I tell you to not touch a hot stove and you touch a hot stove, whose fault is that? Yours. You're stupid. Don't do it. Like, we want you not to hurt yourself, so we tell you these stories of woe, so you just learn not to do it instead of touching the hot stove and learning that way. So they must not slander others or be heavy drinkers. Instead, they should teach others what is good. These older women must train the younger women to love their husbands. What? I do love him. He's so dreamy and cute. Older women, are us husbands easy to love? All of them are shaking their heads. Nope. We are different, and it's hard sometimes, and you need a mentor to walk alongside of as you date, as you get married. You should have people like older women that say, I still don't get them, but I still love them, and it's hard sometimes. And so older women, but for them to do that, they also have to love their husbands already. They have to go through those seasons of the hard and the difficult and the learning. So they should be walking alongside. So find yourselves a mentor, whether it's your small group leader, ask them questions. These ladies love when you ask them questions and share those kinds of stories. Train younger women to love their husband and their children. Again, I love my children. Sometimes I want to shake them because I'm like, what is going through your head? Your parents do the same thing, but you're kind of too big to shake, so they take your phone instead. But they still go, I'm not sure how you got from there to there. How did that work? Mostly with teenage boys, but girls, you're catching up quick here recently. I don't know why. To live wisely and be pure. Oh, we're in this purity culture and stuff like that. Hey, listen, if you want to be a woman of reproach and honor, and you got to not put yourselves out there in the world that dishonors God by showing everything that God gave you. That should be for your husband. There should be a level of respect and honor to that. Somebody asked me like a week ago. I was in one of the small groups. It was a 6th grade boys small group last week. And they said, well, I've never cheated on my wife because I don't have a wife. And I said, well, but if you do all the things that involve being a husband and wife without actually being a husband and wife, did you just cheat on your wife? And they were like, oh, I never thought about it like that. Like, yeah, honor your future wife and your future husband by honoring the person you're dating so that hopefully you get there. So live wisely, be pure, work in their homes, do good, and be submissive to their husbands. And people read that line, they're like, submissive to my husband? Okay, let me put the shoe on the other foot. Okay, would you women, ladies, will you allow, guys, be quiet for just a second. I'm trying to stand up for you, but hold on. Ladies, is it okay for your boyfriend, husband to flirt with another woman? Should there be women in his phone that he texts on a semi-regular basis? So you want your husband to honor and love and serve you, yes? Why would we expect anything differently? Why would we expect, and I'm not talking dating relationships. You guys got to figure out who you want to date. You should talk to a lot of people. You should see who you like. And then when you get into a relationship, you lock it down and nobody else gets inside of that relationship. When you become husband, wife, you need to be submissive to your husband. And that doesn't mean you can't have a career. My wife's going to get her doctorate. I'm cheering her on. Yay, babe, go get it. Like I'm my wife's biggest fan. I will serve her. I love her. I tell her how much I love her all the time. I try to. Sometimes I'm like, I wouldn't wear that, but that's, stupid, and I occasionally make that mistake. But submissive means we're actually engaging with each other, and she's mine and I'm hers. There's no separate bank accounts. There's no, we are together, all of our decisions together. I take input from her. No, that's a stupid way to do that, Dwight. And I go, have you ever done this before? No, but I think, okay, so let's watch a YouTube video together. See, I told you I was right. That never happens. But anyway, so yes, be submissive. What does that look like? If you look at Ephesians 5, it says, women, if you're to be submissive, men, guess what you get to do? Serve. Everything you do, think of, act, decision that you ever make needs to be because of her and your family. And the upbringing, and of God. Obviously, those go together. But could you imagine if a dude serves you every day? Babe, I got this for you. I was thinking of you. I brought you some flowers. Babe, you look beautiful today. Hey, this sun. If he did that, you'd be like, whatever you think, dear. I think that's a great idea. Make one of those spinny wheels where you're going to eat and you just spin the wheel because she's going to say, I don't know. Where do you want to eat? You do things to show her. In return, we submit and serve to each other. So Titus is like, you need to live like that. Women, older women, sorry I said that, older women, but that's what they said, not me. Teach these ladies how to do it. Ladies, listen. Men, listen. Don't touch the hot stove. Do those things. So then we get in Titus. We continue. Then they will not bring shame on the word of God. If we do these things as older people and you guys listen, God's word is fulfilled because we honor each other. We grow in relationship and faith together. In the same way, encourage young men. Live wisely. I joke all the time about how foolish you are, about how, he said duty. Eventually, I'm not saying you come out of liking football and liking sports cars and liking those things, but eventually you have to be responsible because eventually you have to serve that wife. You have to love her and honor, and sometimes that means sacrifice and setting aside some of the things you like so that she can have or the kids can have. So then, in the same way, encourage young men to live wisely, and yourself must be an example to them by doing good works of every kind. Gentlemen, we were designed to work. We were designed to be the big, strong, push, pull, fix, move. My brain only works as my wife says something, I'm like, yeah, I guess I got to fix it. That's how I'm designed. That's how most of us are designed. That we are going to do good works. Those good works are good works to help me. No, the design is the good works to help others, my family, my wife, my job, to honor God in the things that we do. That's how we're designed. And so, men, you need to live wisely to do the good works that honors God, which means service, sacrifice, and love. And it's no longer about me. So, men, you got to get that through the head. Older men, you got to model it by the ways that you live. As yourself, you must be example by doing the good works of every kind. Let everything you do reflect the integrity and the seriousness of your teaching. We all know somebody who says, I love Jesus, I'm a Christian, I wear the cross, but their actions are nothing like the words that they proclaim to believe. And Titus and Paul are saying, can't do that. And here's the great thing. We get to call each other out on that. So teach the integrity and seriousness of teaching. Teach the trust so that your teaching won't be criticized. If you can't do the good things, the kind things, practice self-control, if you can't do those, I won't take you seriously. If you can't focus, if you can't do the things that God calls you to do, if you can't listen and then apply it to your life, you won't be a man of God, and you won't be taken seriously. Ladies, if you don't do the things that you were called to do, you're not taken seriously. And you go, why don't I get more responsibility? Why can't I have a phone? Why can't I have a car? Because you're not doing the things even in your personal spiritual life. And what happens in your spiritual life is a reflection and will happen. Remember, we talked that first week in this series. What goes into your mind comes out your mouth and out your heart. It's a reflection of each other. Does this make sense? Are we're still tracking? Teach the trust so that your teaching can't be criticized. And then those who oppose us will be ashamed and have nothing bad to say about us. Man, you want to stop an argument real quick, you just say, hey, what have I done that dishonored you? What have I done that has hurt you? What have I done to do any of these things? And if they can't point to something, you win. You are supposed to live a life in which God wins because he lives in you, and through your actions and your words and your deeds, he wins, and nobody can say anything bad about you. Last section. How does this apply to you as teens? I think we've made a couple of connections, but this is the last sections. So, slaves must always obey their masters, and they were called bond servants back then. You actually put yourself in a position that you served other people. It's kind of like having a job. For many of you guys, who has a job here, like actually works for some money? I know the adults all raise their hands. That's good. So some of you guys actually have a career, a job. Who's your boss? You raise your hand. Who's your boss? He doesn't know. He just wanted to raise his hand. He's like, I look cool. I was just stretching, Dwight. I'm just kidding. Slaves must always obey. So bondservants must obey their masters and do the best to please them. They must not talk back or steal, but must show themselves to be entirely trustworthy and good. Then they will make the teaching about God our Savior attractive in every way. And we talked about this first week. What is your job? If you are not working for a boss, what is your job? What is your job right now? To what? Okay, so he started with mom and dad. Yep, that works. What's your job? School. Every one of you goes to school. What's your job? Well, so maybe you have responsibility at home, but that's ultimately your mom and dad's job. They might give you some responsibility. Your job right now is school. And if your job right now is school and you apply this, and somebody like homeschooled, okay, so that's your mom and dad. They just kind of went together. You guys are, and Ephesians talks about this as well, slaves must obey their masters. Or servants, you guys are to obey those who are older than you guys. You guys are supposed to be under the authority of your teachers, your coaches. For those of you guys that play sports, dance, marching band, volleyball, whatever, if you go, Coach, I'm not doing it, what does Coach say? You're not playing. You're no longer in the position because you are going to submit to my authority. Teachers, if they say, you have homework tomorrow, and you go, no, I don't, and you don't turn it in, what does teacher say? Then you get a big fat F, 0, whatever you want to go. You don't get the grades. You are responsible for them. So look at it this way. Students, you must obey those in authority above you, whether it's a teacher, whether it is a parent, whether it's a small group leader, whatever it is, you must not talk back to them, but they're just terrible and I hate them. I don't care. I had professors that I disliked a whole bunch. But for some of you guys, they are the reason why you play football that week or don't, or volleyball or band, or some of them are the reason why you will or won't keep hands to yourself. That was one of the rules from the first week. No touching, or you sit by yourself up here. You can't steal. That means cheating for you guys in school, for you guys that like to cut corners in sports or music or stuff like that. You don't steal time by sneaking away and like getting on your, one of the biggest things when you get a job, a lot of people like to use their phones on the job, and that's stealing time from your employer. So you should not talk back. Yes, ma'am, and yes, sir. And you go, man, I hate this lesson. This is just stinky. They're mean teachers. They're the ones that will keep you from getting a scholarship. They're the ones that will keep you from making the sports team. They're the ones that, And one day you'll hold that authority. I promise you that. But for you guys to be good at that, you also need to be submissive to that as well. They must not talk back or steal, but they must show themselves entirely trustworthy and good. If you show yourself trustworthy and good in sports, in band, if you go home and practice, volleyball, you take that extra time to research and study the paper for you science brains. If you do all of that stuff, will you get more responsibility or less? You will not get less. What is wrong with you? You'll get more. And you'll be trustworthy. And then they will make the teaching about God our Savior attractive in every way. You know, the crazy thing is if you say, I love God and I love Jesus, and you're a jerk, how attracted are other people to go, man, I want to hang out with Jesus too? Not very. But if you love Jesus and you love people and you show up and you honor him and you give him glory and you show up every day and you do the work that you're supposed to and you say yes ma'am, no ma'am to the coaches, you try your hardest, you put in the work, you do all of those things, you ask questions to the adults on the things you don't know. Hey, listen, I don't understand about dating. I don't understand about coach. How am I supposed to do this play? I missed this tackle. How is he always beating me? You start asking those questions, you'll get more responsibility, you'll get better, you'll get faster, you'll get positions of captainship or authority. I just look at Abigail. I mean, she was like this tall when she was praise and worship. Now she's leading the praise and worship band. Like, the more you go, the more responsibility we give you because you've shown yourself trustworthy and you didn't mess anything up. Or if you did, you're like, I did it for this reason. I'm sorry. What is the key to enjoying school, work, and parents? It's this last section, and I'll get you into small groups. I know you're like, wow, there's so much reading. I get it, but this is important. This is how you are expected to live. For the grace of God has been revealed, bringing salvation to all people, and we are instructed to turn from the godless living and sinful pleasures. There's a lot of things that can pull you away from God. The world offers you a ton, and that includes like scrolling and addiction to scrolling. There is a lot of things that will pull you away from God. We should live in this evil world with wisdom, righteousness, and devotion to God while we look forward to the hope that wonderful day when the glory of our great God, our Savior, Jesus Christ, will be revealed. He gave his life to free us from our great... Sorry, I can't read from the back there. I'm losing it. He gave his life to free us from every kind of sin, to cleanse us, and to make us his very own people, totally committed to doing good deeds. It's there again. For you guys to live holy, it is about it. Your works doesn't save us, but your works is definitely a reflection of what lives inside of you. And God gave you good deeds to do, and you should love, and you should serve, and you should grow closer to the people around you. You must teach these things and encourage the believers to do them. You have the authority to correct them when necessary, and don't let anyone disregard what you say. You, as a Christian, Charlie's doing his baptism video. He's going to baptism this upcoming next week at the park and stuff like that. Hey, guess what? Charlie gets to hold me accountable as a Christian. If I do something wrong, I expect Charlie to come to me and be like, Dwight, what you said was inappropriate. I don't think that was right. Or, you shouldn't have punched that student in the face. I'm going to need to call it. I'm just kidding. No, I'm not going to punch you. What are you, weirdo? Ask it in small groups. But we hold each other accountable now. We have a relationship to each other to say, how are you doing? How can I help you? How can I grow you? This is the relationship we live in. And as crazy as it sounds, the better you do at this, the more attractive your relationship with Jesus is going to look to other people in your schools and the people around you. And people will start going, hey, man, I have this thing going on and you kind of dealt with it. Can you tell me how you did that? Or I'm struggling with this dating relationship, or this person wants to do this. And all of a sudden we start answering questions because you've shown yourself trustworthy. If you're like, hey man, I wish people would give me more responsibilities and I want the things that I want, I'd like to get this job and I'd like to get this phone, then show yourself trustworthy with the things that you have right now, including your faith, including your phone, including your car, your job, your relationship with teachers. I'm not going to give my kids things if they go to school and they're jerks and they constantly are getting in trouble. I'm not going to give them cell phones if they are going to use it unwisely and I get a text from Bark that says they're doing all kinds of stupid stuff on their phone. I'm not going to do it. And God expects the same from you. And so with that, Titus is going to wrap up next week, or 2 weeks. I'll have one more week of Titus, but it wraps up. But this is a hard Sunday. Titus was called to call out the church leadership. I am here to call you out. And I know this is a hard, in fact, that was the title of the sermon. This is a hard, you are called to be part of and call out the church. You are called to be part of, which means to be held accountable for your actions if you're part of this church. And you are supposed to be part of making this church better by holding each other accountable, but helping other people learn about Jesus too. To be part of the fellowship, you have to follow the instructions. It's a hard lesson to learn. And I know some of you guys are like, oh, like I hate this message. This is the hardest lesson for some of you guys to learn. And some of you guys are going to get it right. And I am so excited to see you grow. I know I have some senior highs over here that are figuring it out. I got middle school boys and girls. You're figuring it out in different ways, and we're going to walk alongside of you. But let's pray and get you to small groups because this is a tough lesson. God, you truly are the author of all things, and sometimes we need instructions and sometimes we need directions. Titus is a direction of how to live and what we are to be as young men and women of the Christian faith. And so, God, following you is hard sometimes, and sometimes we have to do hard lessons like today where we say, hey, you need to stop being as immature as you are and start focusing on Jesus. You need to start doing. You need to start living. You need to respect the people around you. You need to do those things. And if you do that, because of God, your grace and mercy, you'll give us more responsibility. You'll give us direction. You'll give us people and relationships. They'll be deeper and they'll be greater than anything we can imagine. But to do that, we need to submit to you as we submit to the world around us in your actions and deeds you called us to do. We ask that these students figure that out and move forward in that. We ask this